Liam's temper flared again, a wildfire in the cramped space of their apartment. It was happening more often lately, this uncontrollable surge of frustration. Noah, as always, absorbed the heat without burning. He spoke in that low, steady voice he always used, assuring Liam that it was okay, that the job market was brutal right now, and that it was no reflection on his talent. He had a way of making Liam feel like a kid, even though only 3 years separated them. Liam took a deep breath, catching his reflection in the bathroom mirror. The face looking back was a stranger, drained of the vibrant energy a recent graduate should have. It was a face of stagnation. When he emerged from the shower, the steam clinging to his skin, Noah was still hunched over his laptop, the glow illuminating the exhaustion etched around his eyes. It was a bitter irony. Noah, born into one of New York's wealthiest families, could have walked into a corner office the day after graduation. Instead, he had detonated his relationship with his family for Liam. Now he ran a small, struggling tech startup from their tiny apartment, the work endless and unforgiving. He had offered Liam a position, of course, but Liam refused. He couldn't stand the thought of proving Noah's mother right, that he was nothing without him, dependent even for a paycheck. Hearing the door creak, Noah looked up. He immediately closed his laptop and picked up the hairdryer from the dresser. He told Liam he'd catch a cold, that he'd regret it when he was older. As he moved to plug it in, Liam intercepted him, taking the dryer from his hand. He insisted on doing it himself, telling Noah to get back to work. Later, lying in bed, Liam listened to the symphony of their poverty. The old box fan in the window rattled a percussive rhythm. The wooden bed frame groaned with every slight movement. The entire room, barely big enough for the bed and Noah's makeshift desk, smelled of damp wood and old paper. Liam had seen Noah's family home once, during the disastrous coming out. Their current apartment could fit inside his parents' master bathroom. It was nearly 1 in the morning when Noah finally finished. He switched off the small desk lamp, plunging the room into near darkness. He moved with a practiced quietness, turning the faucet in the bathroom just enough to a trickle, careful not to wake him. Liam felt the bed dip as Noah slid in beside him. A warm, solid chest pressed against his back. An arm wrapped around his waist, pulling him into an embrace that was both gentle and possessive. Liam waited until Noah's breathing evened out into the rhythm of sleep before opening his eyes. Even in slumber, a slight furrow creased Noah's brow. His mind drifted back to the day they met. It was a cliché, a scene from a bad rom-com. A luxury car, a careless driver, a pedestrian knocked to the ground. Only the pedestrian was another man, a very angry one. Liam had been ready to unleash a torrent of curses until Noah stepped out of the car. The sight of him stole the air from Liam's lungs. He was dazzling, a perfect blend of youthful confidence and an almost boyish uncertainty. He just stared, speechless. Noah, in turn, froze when he saw him, his apology dying on his lips. It was instantaneous for both of them. Liam had milked the incident for all it was worth, pretending his leg was worse than it was. He claimed he was in agony long after the doctor had given him a clean bill of health. He just wanted a reason to see Noah again, and it was clear Noah felt the same. They played along with the charade, neither of them wanting to break the spell. The flimsy pretense finally shattered on New Year's Eve. Liam had called him, claiming he'd failed to get a train ticket home for the holidays, and asked if he could possibly stay over. He'd never even tried to buy a ticket. Noah drove from his pristine uptown apartment all the way to Liam's dorm in a snowstorm. He found Liam standing pathetically by the entrance with a single suitcase. He'd swept him into a hug, his voice a mixture of concern and gentle scolding. asking why he was waiting outside in the freezing cold. Liam thought to himself that getting sick would just be another excuse to need him. That night, as the countdown boomed from the television and fireworks exploded over the Manhattan skyline, Liam stood on the small balcony. When he turned, he found Noah staring at him, his face illuminated by the bursts of color. Emboldened by the moment, Liam asked if Noah wanted to kiss him. Noah's eyes widened in surprise. Liam took a step closer, repeating the question, adding that he wanted to kiss Noah. Noah looked down at him, his gaze intense. He slowly raised a hand, his thumb brushing against Liam's lips, sending a shiver through him. His voice was husky when he asked if Liam knew what this meant. Liam knew perfectly well. It meant a life swimming against the current, facing judgment and whispers. It meant potential rejection from friends and family. But none of that mattered. The person he loved just happened to be a man. He met Noah's gaze and asked if he was scared. Noah shook his head. He wasn't scared for himself, he admitted, but he was scared Liam would run. Liam closed the distance and pressed his lips to Noah's, promising he'd never be the one to leave. That night was their first. Looking at the sleeping man beside him now, Liam felt a crushing weight of guilt. He had been the one to pull Noah into this world, away from the bright, easy future that was his birthright. A future with a successful career, a happy family, maybe a few adorable kids. Not this. Not crammed into a decaying apartment with a man who couldn't even find a job. Noah was drowning because of him. He wondered what he had ever really done for Noah. Noah woke up early, made his own breakfast, and always left a portion for Liam. He came home exhausted but still cooked dinner, always asking about Liam's fruitless interviews. He would go out of his way to a specific halal cart across town just to buy the chicken over rice that Liam loved. And what did Liam do in return? He did the dishes. That was it. A bitter smile touched his lips. It was time to leave. He was dragging Noah down into the abyss with him. The next morning, Liam woke up half an hour before Noah, a rare occurrence. He made a large breakfast, pancakes, bacon, scrambled eggs. When Noah emerged from the bedroom, he stopped, blinking in confusion. He asked why Liam was up so early. Liam forced a bright smile and lied, telling him the design firm from yesterday had called with a job offer. He was starting in a few days. Noah's face broke into a huge grin. He ruffled Liam's hair, congratulating him and asking what he wanted for a celebratory dinner. Liam shook his head, suggesting they wait until after his first official payday. He pushed a plate towards Noah, asking anxiously how the food tasted. Noah responded by pulling him close, his mouth capturing Liam's in a deep kiss. He murmured against his lips that Liam should taste it for himself. The kiss left Liam dizzy and breathless. Noah's eyes were dark with desire, and Liam knew exactly what he was thinking. He tried to protest, reminding Noah he would be late for work. Noah simply scooped him up, dismissing the concern by stating that he was the boss. Liam knew it was useless to argue, and a part of him, the part that knew this was the last time, didn't want to. When Noah finally left for the office, well over an hour late, Liam walked him to the door. As Noah turned to leave, Liam suddenly threw his arms around his waist from behind, holding on tightly for just a second before letting go. When Noah turned back, confused, Liam gave him a perfect, unwavering smile. "Bye, Noah." Noah hesitated, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes, but he brushed it off. He probably thought it was just a lingering affection from their morning. He left thinking about what to pick up for dinner that night to celebrate, maybe that Thai food Liam loved, and a bottle of good wine. When he returned that evening, the apartment was immaculately clean, but all of Liam's things were gone. The key was on the kitchen counter. Frantically, Noah pulled out his phone, dialing Liam's number again and again, each call going straight to voicemail. At a bus station across town, Liam handed his old SIM card to a clerk, confirming that he wanted to deactivate the number. He put a new card into his phone and left the city without looking back. 3 years later, a secretary announced the project lead from their new partner agency. "Mr. Davies, this is Liam Ashton." Liam looked up, his heart pounding against his ribs, at the man behind the expansive mahogany desk. It was the first time he'd seen him since he'd left. He wondered what Noah would do. Yell at him? Have him thrown out? Instead, Noah gave the portfolio Liam handed him a cursory glance before passing it to his secretary. His face was a mask of professional indifference. He instructed her that Liam would be coordinating with Chris Chun on all future project matters. He never looked at Liam again before he was led out of the office. The rejection was a physical pain, a sharp, acidic sting in his chest. This collaboration hadn't been an accident. When Liam heard the client was Rivertech, the company Noah had built from the ground up, he'd begged his boss for the assignment. He'd traded favors and promised his firstborn to the original project lead to get this chance. He couldn't give up now. He had to win Noah back. He'd found out through a mutual acquaintance that Noah hadn't dated anyone in the 3 years they'd been apart. That had to mean something. He began a relentless campaign. He brought coffee and bagels to the office every morning. Noah would take one look at the bag before dropping it into the trash can next to his desk without a word. Liam would tell himself that every new beginning was difficult. He sent texts every morning and every night, complete with old inside jokes and selfies. They all went unanswered. The flowers and gifts he sent were always politely rerouted to the assistant's desk. Finally, one morning, as Liam placed a coffee on his desk, Noah spoke to him for the first time since their meeting. His voice was ice. "What do you want, Liam?" "I want to win you back," Liam said, his own voice surprisingly steady. Noah let out a short, harsh laugh. "Why?" "Because I love you." The words made something snap in Noah. He shot up from his chair, grabbed the front of Liam's shirt, his knuckles white. "Love me?" he hissed, his eyes blazing with a hatred that made Liam flinch. "Is this a game to you, Liam? Do you get some sick pleasure out of making me fall for you just so you can break me again?" Liam tried to explain, to tell him it wasn't like that he would never leave again. Noah shoved him away. He warned him to stick to his job and stop the pathetic attempts to get his attention, or he would have him replaced. The words hit Liam like a physical blow. He stood frozen until Chris, Noah's assistant, gently escorted him out. Back at his temporary desk, Chris tried to offer some comfort. He told Liam not to take it personally, that he wasn't the first person to try and fail to get the boss's attention. Then, leaning in, he lowered his voice. The boss, he was hurt badly a few years ago, was with someone for a long time and they just vanished. No note, no call, nothing. He went half-mad looking for them. Chris described a period when Noah was a ghost, losing weight, running out of meetings every time a private investigator called, looking haunted. Chris stopped, his eyes widening. "Hey man, are you okay? You're as white as a sheet." Liam mumbled something about the bathroom and fled. He splashed cold water on his face, gripping the edge of the porcelain sink to keep himself upright. Couldn't be. He had left to set Noah free, to relieve him of a burden. How could his leaving have caused such destruction? Just as he was about to leave the restroom, his mother called. She immediately launched into a familiar topic, asking about the nice young woman she'd been trying to set him up with. Liam's mother didn't know about Noah, didn't even know he was gay. The blind date was a fabrication, an excuse he and a friend had concocted to appease their respective parents. He'd never even met the woman. He started to give his usual excuse, saying that she was great, but she just wasn't interested in me. The second half of the sentence caught in his throat. Noah was standing in the doorway, his expression unreadable, his eyes cold. A slow, deeply sarcastic smile spread across his face. His eyes filled with a fresh wave of disgust. "So that's the love you were talking about, Liam," Noah said, his voice dripping with venom. "How many more times are you planning on lying to me?" He turned and walked away without another word. Liam frantically ended the call with his mother and ran after him. He called Noah's name, begging him to wait, to let him explain, but Noah strode through the office without breaking his pace. Liam could only watch as he got into the elevator, the doors sliding shut on his desperate pleas. Noah didn't come into the office for a week. Every time Liam approached his assistant, he was met with a polite smile and the excuse that Mr. Davies was traveling for business. But Liam saw Chris returning with documents bearing Noah's fresh signature. Noah was hiding from him. He couldn't let the misunderstanding fester. He got Noah's home address from Chris and went there immediately. He rang the doorbell of a modern downtown loft. After a minute, the door opened. Noah stood there in a black t-shirt and sweatpants, looking distracted. "What documents need signing this time?" he asked, then his eyes focused on Liam. Without a thought, he moved to slam the door shut. Liam ducked under his arm and slipped inside, ignoring the thunderous scowl on Noah's face. The apartment was huge, with walls painted a soft sea green. An oversized, custom-made sofa dominated the living area. A small, sleek bar was built into one wall, lined with wine bottles. The floor was dark hardwood, softened by a plush, pure white rug. It was the apartment they had designed together on napkins in their old, cramped room. He remembered every detail. He turned to Noah, his throat tight, a single word on his lips. "You." Noah cut him off sharply. He told him not to flatter himself, that he just liked the design. He asked if Liam was done looking, and if so, he could get out. His voice was harsh, but Liam detected a slight tremor beneath the anger. He wasn't just trying to push him away. He was hoping Liam would stay. It was a test. This was his last chance. Liam quickly pulled out his phone, opened the text thread with the woman his mom had mentioned, and held it up for Noah to see. He explained the entire situation, that it was a pact to keep their parents off their backs. Noah's face remained a mask of stone, but his eyes scanned every word of the conversation. When he finished, his expression softened for a moment before hardening again. He told Liam it didn't matter. He reminded him that he was the one who had walked away, that their relationship was over. He ordered Liam to leave and never come back. He turned his back on him, a final, cold dismissal. They had fought before, but Liam had never known how to fix it. Noah had once told him that if he ever argued but didn't walk out the door, it was his way of saying, "Please, fight for me. Convince me to stay." Liam looked at Noah's rigid back and slowly walked towards him. Noah shot him a cold glare over his shoulder. Liam tentatively hooked a foot around Noah's ankle, sliding it up his leg. When Noah didn't pull away, Liam grew bolder, wrapping his arms around his neck and straddling his lap on the sofa. Before Noah could protest, he kissed him. Noah resisted for a moment, then surrendered, his hands tangling in Liam's hair, pulling him closer. The kiss became desperate, hungry, a release of 3 years of pent-up pain and longing. When they finally broke apart, gasping for air, Noah's eyes were blazing with a raw, undeniable need. Liam knew this wasn't the time for talk, but he had to. If he didn't explain everything now, Noah might disappear again by morning. He gently pushed back, avoiding Noah's intense gaze. He confessed that he'd left because he felt like a failure, that he thought he was holding Noah back from a better life. He told him it was a stupid, terrible mistake, but he did it because he loved him. He asked, his voice trembling, if Noah could give him one more chance. He finally met Noah's eyes and waited for the verdict. After a long, agonizing silence, Noah spoke, his voice thick with suppressed rage. Did I ever once blame you, Liam? Did I ever say you were a burden? Did I ever tell you I regretted my choice? He grabbed Liam's face, his grip tight. You don't get to make my decisions for me. You don't get to just disappear without a word. Do you have any idea what these last 3 years have been like? The insomnia? Wondering every single night what I did wrong to make you leave. The hope I felt every time a PI called, only to have it crushed? Do you know how much I hated you? His voice broke. So how dare you come back here and say you love me? How dare you think I could ever forgive you? A single tear escaped Noah's eye and traced a path down his cheek. Seeing it, Liam's own control shattered. Sobs racked his body, a flood of guilt and grief pouring out of him. Noah was right. He had no right to be here, no right to ask for anything. Noah watched him cry for a long time. Finally, with a heavy sigh, he pulled Liam into his arms, holding him, stroking his back. You're the one who did this, Liam, he murmured, his voice rough with emotion. So why am I the one who has to comfort you? Liam could only choke out that he was sorry, that he never wanted this. Noah held him tighter. He gently wiped the tears from Liam's face and waited until his sobs subsided. Then he spoke, his voice solemn. Liam, I'm forgiving you this one time, but if you ever walk away from me again, I swear you will never see me again. Liam stared at him, stunned. He asked him to repeat it. Noah scoffed, turning away and saying good things aren't said twice. Liam scrambled, wrapping his arms and legs around him, refusing to let go. He told him he heard him, that Noah had to keep his word. Life with Noah was different now. The first change was Liam's desk being moved into Noah's expansive office. When Liam quietly questioned if this was appropriate, Noah just gave him a pointed look. He said that someone with a history of running away needed to be kept on a very short leash. A few days later, Noah followed him to the executive washroom. Liam protested, saying this was too much. Noah, casually scrolling through his phone, said he was afraid Liam would use a trip to the bathroom as a cover to disappear again. He then raised an eyebrow. What's the problem? There isn't a single part of you I haven't already seen. Within a week, everyone at Rivertech knew their boss was back with his ex. Noah made sure of it, holding Liam's hand during walkthroughs of the office, kissing him in plain sight. One evening, after the last employee had left, Noah locked the office door. The definitive click of the lock sent a shiver of anticipation down Liam's spine. Since they'd gotten back together, Noah had been making up for lost time with a ferocious passion. Liam tried to deflect, offering a massage for his tired boss. Noah just smiled, a playful, dangerous glint in his eye. Later, he said, and closed the distance between them. They were lost in a kiss when a sharp knock echoed on the office door, followed by a woman's voice calling Noah's name. It was his mother. Liam froze, the blood turning to ice in his veins. He remembered their first and only meeting, the elegant, sophisticated woman screaming at him, calling him a disease, throwing a crystal ashtray that had shattered on the wall just past his head. Noah sensed his panic. He stroked Liam's hair, giving him a reassuring smile. He told him not to be afraid, suggesting he wait in the small adjoining lounge. Liam grabbed his hand, insisting he would face her with him. Noah knew it was false bravado. He gently kissed Liam's forehead and told him that with him, he never had to pretend. He told him to trust him. Reluctantly, Liam nodded and retreated to the lounge, leaving the door cracked open. Mrs. Davies swept in, her eyes landing on Noah's slightly swollen lips. She didn't comment. She sat in Noah's chair and acknowledged that it was Noah who had anonymously bailed out the family company during its recent financial crisis. Noah simply confirmed it. She then apologized for actively trying to sabotage his startup when he'd first left home. Noah accepted her apology quietly. After a long silence, she mentioned she'd heard Liam was working there now. She suggested, in a softer tone, that Noah should bring him home for dinner sometime to discuss wedding plans. As she left, she paused at the lounge door and spoke again, her voice clear. She told Liam she was sorry for what she'd done, for using her influence to make sure no one in New York would hire him. When she was gone, Noah rushed into the lounge and pulled Liam into a frantic, trembling hug. He said he hadn't known. He swore he had no idea what his parents had done. He begged Liam to hit him, to yell at him, but not to leave him again. Liam held him, stroking his back and calming him, assuring him that he had promised and he would never leave again. Noah buried his face in Liam's neck and whispered that he was sorry. Liam just smiled and told him there was nothing to forgive. The dinner at the Davies mansion was stiff at first, but Liam broke the ice by acknowledging his own mistake. How he too had once made a choice for Noah thinking it was for the best. After that, the tension eased. Later that week, while Noah was in the shower, Liam called his own mother to prepare her. His mom was a tough, single mother who had raised him on her own. He had no idea how she would react. "Mom," he began, "I'm in a relationship. Is it that guy you were arguing with on the phone that one time?" She cut in, shocking him. She explained she'd overheard the whole thing. "He came by the house a few days ago, by the way. Noah, right? Seems like a good kid." Liam was floored. He remembered Noah telling him he had a business trip. He asked his mom if she'd given him a hard time. His mother scoffed. "Please, I'm not some villain from one of my soap operas. After hearing you two on the phone, I figured you were the one who screwed up." Just then, strong, wet arms wrapped around him from behind. Noah murmured against his ear, asking if he was done with the call. He had won his mother over all on his own. On their wedding day, at a small vineyard in Napa, Noah looked at Liam in his suit and seemed dazed. He asked, a note of wonder in his voice, if this was really happening. Liam took his hand, pulled him close, and sealed their future with a kiss. He smiled and assured him that it was real. From this day forward, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, he would never leave his side. From the perspective of Chris Chen, the last 3 years had been a masterclass in confusing behavior. His boss would publicly throw away the lunch Liam brought, only to have Chris order him to retrieve it from the clean trash can later so he could eat it in private. He'd hide the gifts Liam sent, then give Chris his CR card to secretly buy identical items to place on his desk. He'd insist he was out of town, then make Chris parade documents with his fresh signature in front of Liam. Chris had assumed it was some kind of elaborate power play. Now, watching them get married, he finally understood. He hadn't been an assistant. He'd been a supporting actor in the most ridiculous, long-winded romantic drama he'd ever seen.